The only thing necessary for evil to succeed is for good men to do nothing. It's important that people wake up to what is going on. It's time that we read the Constitution. It is error that needs the support of government. Truth can stand alone. That was given to us by Thomas Jefferson.
The original inn, which stands on the corner here of Lowell Street and Monument Square, was built in 1716. So you can tell it's a very old building. And originally it was just that building. And they were such great conservationists back in the day. What they did is that they ended up joining buildings and houses and moving houses and joining them to what you see now today, which is the Colonial Inn. We've been running as an inn since the late 1800s. Before that, it was a general store. And before that, the good Dr. Minot was on the corner here. And he was the good doctor when the colonists and the mother country, as they say, couldn't get along, and they ended up shooting each other over here at the bridge. During that time, being the good doctor and the only one around, they brought everybody down to the house. And so, in essence, it was really the first war hospital in the United States. They patched everybody up and they sent them on their way.
Hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. This is The Real Story. My name is Dan Happney, and with me is Bob Shulz. Bob, thanks for coming on board. We're here in Concord at the place where, from what I understand, the Revolutionary War began a block or two up the street at a bridge?
Yeah, we're at the Colonial Inn in Concord, just on Monument Square. And this place was built in 1716. And at the start of the Revolutionary War, there were munitions kept in a shed here by the colonists and colonialists, and so the British were on their way to get it, and the folks didn't appreciate that, and they met them at the North Bridge, and the first shots of the Revolutionary War were
It's funny. So we have this whole, when I say these United States, we have things like our Constitution in this great country because of some militiamen or just individuals, whether they were farmers, okay, or blacksmiths or whatever, who came to say, wait a minute, this tyranny thing's been going on too long, and if we allow them to do this, it's just going to get worse. So they stopped what they were doing, left their families, and said, honey, stay home. I've got to go out and make sure that this is done right. I'm just motivated by it.
They put a collective foot down, and the rest is history. as they say.
What brought you here? What message do you have for the viewers in Sharon and the rest of the people in the world? Why is it important? You know, give us the.
Well, it's about the Constitution. The Constitution is all that stands between us, the people, and total tyranny and despotism. It's a rule book. It's a book to. It's a set of principles to govern the government. It's by its words, it sets the government up, and 3 branches, and it enables each branch. We the people have given up a little bit of our power to these 3 branches to do the job that we want them to do to secure our rights. That's their fundamental role. And so we have prohibitions and restrictions. It's, as I say, a set of principles to govern the government, and, for instance, it's unconstitutional, according to the War Powers Clauses, to apply the armed forces of the United States in hostilities overseas without a declaration of war. The Constitution says so. It's also, it has money clauses, and the current Federal Reserve is a violation of those clauses, those money clauses. And the tax on your labor violates the taxing clauses of the Constitution. And direct unapportioned tax is unconstitutional, which is what the tax is on your labor. And we have privacy clauses that our government is, violates when they pass an act like the USA Patriot Act, in which they take upon themselves the power to come into your home, copy your hard drive, and leave without ever telling you they were there.
And most recently, they tell us, well, warrantless wiretapping's okay.
Yeah, and we can open your mail and all this other stuff, right? All in the name of, terrorism, fighting terrorism and terrorists. So, so the Constitution's important, and it needs to. But the thing is, it doesn't defend itself. It just sits on your desk. Well, who's going to defend it? The government? Not hardly.
I love how some of my audience think that maybe some University of Massachusetts professor, or maybe some Harvard professor is going to do it for us, And the founders, they wrote it so that we not only understand it, okay, but it was something. It's funny. What was it? I think it was Benjamin Franklin when he came out, and the lady asked him, "Well, what form of government have you given us?" And he said, "Dear woman, we've given you a republic.
It's a republic if you can keep it."
Right,
exactly. Right. It's not easy. It's not in the natural order of things for you and I, the people, to be well informed about our rights and to be watching what government is doing, to scrutinize government's behavior and to compare government's behavior with the requirements of the Constitution. It's not easy. It's not in the natural order of things for us to look to and be prepared to confront government when they step out of line. And so the government knows this, and they don't fear us. Jefferson said, when the people fear the government, you have tyranny. When the government fears the people, you have liberty. Well, he wasn't talking about the government fearing the people because we were armed. No, he was talking about the government fearing the people because the government knew that we knew what our rights were, and we were watching them, and we were prepared to confront them if what they were doing was unauthorized by the Constitution. You and I can do whatever we want to do, as long as there's no law that says we can't. Government can only do what the Constitution authorizes them to do. If it's not in writing, they can't do it. And so the laws that Congress passes and your state legislature pass, those laws have to be
constitutional.
Constitutional.
Yeah.
You know, and then if the law is constitutional, the government can only do what the law specifically authorizes. If it's not in writing, it doesn't exist. But yet, this is what government does. And they know that, you know, for the most part, the people are pretty well dumbed down as far as they're not very well informed about what their rights are. They're not very well informed about the history, the meaning, the effect, and the significance of every provision of the Declaration of Independence in your state and federal constitutions. In fact, they know that most people don't even know there's a state constitution. Yeah. And so they get away with what they do. And they've gone way out of the box. I mean, they are violating our rights left and right. And we're becoming more of a democracy than a republic. We seem to be transitioning from a constitutional republic to